Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our host for the evening. He comes all the way from Australia via Vancouver. He's been to the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival 3 times. He brings the laughs all across our country. Our host, our MC, Garrett Clark.
All right. St. John, look at you. Yeah, woo. How we feeling tonight, everybody? Woo is a good response, I assume. I love that about comedy venues. As a comedian, as an MC, I can ask you guys any question or make any statement, and you guys can respond with just random noises, and that is a valid response to the comedy show. Nowhere else on earth is that the case. You couldn't be at a job interview, sitting down, "Oh, Mr. Clark, how you doing today?" Woo! Yeah! Because you would not get that job. Take it from me, I've tried it. And now I tell dick jokes for a living. Welcome to Harbour Station, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, see, you learn quickly, St. John. You're just wooing and making noises. It is so nice to see you guys. What a thrill this is. Welcome to the second live comedy recording for James Mullinger. Let's do it again. Let's hear it for James. You guys are, you're in for a real treat tonight. As you guys saw as you were gathering into the venue, Ethan Ash from the United Kingdom was playing. Big round of applause for Ethan Ash, ladies and gentlemen. What a voice. He's got an upcoming Canadian tour happening very soon. He's got a brand new album out that you can find at the merch table. What a just a killer talent. Everyone here that you're seeing on the show has some sort of a connection to St. John, your beautiful city, and I can't believe the amount of people that are here tonight. This is very different from the regular bar and comedy club gig that I'm used to. I started spending time in St. John about 2 years ago. I've been here almost every second week since. And the first time I came to New Brunswick, I had a very surreal experience, a very New Brunswick experience. I saw my first moose. By a round of applause, how many of you have seen a moose here before? Okay. You didn't even let me finish my question. You're like, yes, we rode one here tonight. We all have 3. It was a crazy experience the first time I saw a moose 2 years ago, though. Because it changed me. Like, I saw this thing, and my whole life, everyone is always saying how big these animals are. It's almost as if you guys know nothing else about the creature. Because every time you meet someone that hasn't seen a moose, you always say the same thing. You're like, "Oh, dude, you haven't seen a moose? They're really big." That's all you know about them. I saw this thing, it came out of the woods, everything, like my life changed, I haven't slept the same since. I'm gay now, I was straight before I saw it. It really messed me up. I was driving down the highway, this thing came out of the woods. They're the manliest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. The epitome of testosterone. They have triceps, for Christ's sake. And abs. Some of them are wearing tap-out shirts, I swear to God. Those are the moose from Sussex. It depends on what part of the province you see them in. And it looks like it hurts to be a moose. It looks painful. It looks like someone injected their face with testosterone, and they're now exploding out of themselves, just like there's like an eye on the side of the head, like it's all crooked like a Picasso, it's spilling out of itself. There's that second face, that hairy lump on the throat, because there was no more room on the top face. Just full of, and the nose of an 80-year-old alcoholic. Just, and these tiny little legs, they're top heavy. And this thing came out of the woods. My whole world went into slow motion. It came out, it just... Huge dick! Like heavy dick. Like it was weighty, it was pulling it down to the earth. Like a sea anchor. And I feel like because their legs are so skinny, that their balance is dependent on the opposite swing of the dick, like a pendulum. A pendulum. And that's the females, for Christ's sake. That's how manly this animal is. Is the chicks are the biggest dicks you've ever seen in your entire life. was a startling experience. We are going to have fun tonight. I'm loving the energy in here already. I am celebrating more than just this epic show tonight. Just last week, I hit my half-life anniversary of being in Canada. Sure, I'll take it. I don't know if half of you even know what I mean, but I'll take the applause. I don't even know how to frame it yet. I just hit the halfway mark where I've now spent more of my life in Canada than where I grew up in Australia. And I moved to Canada at such an age in my life that I don't know at this point as an adult what is Australian lingo and what is just kiddie talk. Do you know what I mean? Because my whole life, my dad always called going to bed Jim Jam Nai. And I'm not sure at this point as a grown-up if that's an actual Australian term for going to bed, or if that's just what he said to me because I was a kid. Like, I don't know if there's grown men walking the streets of Sydney right now, like construction working men, walking around going, "Oh, Sterling, that was a rough day at work, mate. I'm bloody exhausted. I think I'm gonna go straight home and go Jim Jam Nai. Time for Jimmy Jammy, Sterling." And if you see something attractive in Australia, like a nice sunset, we always used to call it gorgy gumdrops. How Australian does that sound? That's the most Australian thing I've ever heard in my life. Gorgy gumdrops. Every time I hear that, I think of the most stereotypical Australian man with an Akubra cowboy hat on, those corks dangling off it to keep the flies out, cut-off jeans, short shorts, a boomerang in the back pocket, eating a Tim Tam, and completely riddled with chlamydia. That's what I picture every time I hear gorgy gumdrops. A good meal, we call that delishy McGrishy. Going to the toilet, that's poopy bum bottom. One time my friend Rob fell asleep on the toilet. He went poopy bum nai. He went Jim Jam bum bottom, and that's a true story, ladies and gentlemen. He fell into the bath when he woke up. I've got some strange names in my family. Maybe strange is the wrong way to frame this. Maybe uncommon is a better way to say that. My name is Garrett. My sister's name is Devon. My stepdad's name is Warwick. My mum's name is Graziella, which is Italian for grace. Her sister's name is Histamine, which is Italian for histamine. So I literally have an antihistamine. Her husband, my uncle, his name is William Fatigue. And he served in the, that's not the funny part, fuck you. Whoever laughed at my uncle's name. He served in the army for 20 years. This is true. So for 20 years, at a very high rank, he went by General Fatigue. And they have 2 lizards, 2 iguanas. They're always trying to kill each other. They're always at each other's throat. So look, St. John, what I'm getting at here is that when you put an antihistamine together with General Fatigue, you get a reptile dysfunction. That's right, that's what that deserves. You clap your hands, St. John. Jesus Christ. I was in Winnipeg not long ago because my career's on fire, and look, I take that back, actually. I like Winnipeg. Everyone shits on Winnipeg. They do. I think it's a great town. It's got a lot of great people. Wonderful restaurants, a very supportive arts community. I always forget when I'm in Winnipeg, though, that it is the murder capital of Canada. I'm reminded very quickly when I go back there. I was driving down Portage Street in Winnipeg a couple of weeks ago, one of the main roads in Winnipeg, and there was a car parked in front of me, so in order to go around it, I had to merge lanes and pass. Well, the dude behind me sped up to not let me in. Dick move. So I went anyway. I just cut him off, and I guess this really pissed him off. He started riding my ass, started aggressively lining our windows up and cutting me off. We eventually stopped next to each other at a red light. He rolls down his tinted window. Behind the window are 2 19-year-old homeboys, like 2 white boys with baby faces and those oversized flat-beaked hats. You know the ones? Anyway, they didn't say anything to me. They just gave me a look thinking that would intimidate me. I think they thought they were in a movie or something. But they just looked at me and it was really fun. They gave me a glare. They rolled down the window and they just went. And it was funny to me. I laughed at them. And I don't know what got into me. I didn't premeditate this. I had never thought about this beforehand in any way, shape, or form. But this is what came out of me in this moment when I looked at these boys. I just looked at them and I went, and they were like, and then the light changed and I drove away giggling. And I looked in the rearview mirror. They had stayed at the light like for 4 or 5 seconds. That's a long time to stay at a green light. And then eventually they pulled over. Like they'd left the road. I sucked a dick at them so good they forgot where they were going. That's what it takes, man. Everyone's expecting aggression in a situation like that, like fuck you or something like that, or you want to go? Try sucking a dick at someone, St. John. See what someone's true colors are. And I really sucked that dick too. Like I didn't just like, I was like my hips were thrusting. They couldn't see that part. It was behind the door, but I committed. I was in it. The dick came in my mouth, like I sucked it to completion. Because I don't start something that I don't finish, St. John. And it doesn't have to be just in road rage. Anywhere in life. Next time you're at Sobeys during rush hour and the lineup is too long, go stand in the line for a good 10 seconds and then just look at everyone else in the line and just, People will be like, holy shit, man, take my spot. I'll go into the next line. Fuck it, walk through life like that. Just, people will clear a path for you. The power of sucking a dick. I just sucked a dick at 5,000 people and see the reaction it got? Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to get this show rolling? I think we're ready. Like I said off the top, you guys have a stacked lineup here for you tonight. Your first comedian is a very funny guy. He actually was the host of the last time James sold out Harbour Station. If you haven't seen him perform live before, and by the way, he had only done about 20 shows when he hosted this gig. I've been doing this for 16 years, so I secretly hate this guy. But he's very funny. If you haven't seen him doing comedy, in fact, you may have also heard him on CBC Radio on Laugh Out Loud. He's been doing very well for himself. But when he's not doing this, he's supporting his comedy career by being a cardiac surgeon. So he may very well have saved the lives of someone you know, or maybe even someone in this room. So St. John, put your hands together for the very funny Ansar Hassan!
Thank you! Thank you very much! Love you, St. John, thank you!
Nice job, Ansar. Killer job. Yeah, come on, give me a hug. Ansar Hassan, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for him. How are we feeling, everybody? We're having a good time? One more time, Dr. Ansar Hassan. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a very quick 10-minute intermission. You guys can have an opportunity now to get some more beverages. It makes us all funnier, trust me. Empty your bladders, do what you need to do. But if you'd like, you can also kick back and watch this next brilliant act during the intermission. As I mentioned, we've got a stacked lineup even throughout the intermission. The young lady that I'm about to bring up is one of the UK's top opera singers. She's originally from the St. John area. She has a new album that's also on sale at the merch table, but she's here for you right now. So St. John, please put your hands together for Kyla Lingley. Beautiful dress.
Thank you very much, and thank you, St. John.
Kyla Lingley, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Garrett.
Can I scare you? Great job. Give me a hug, Kyla. Beautiful job. Kyla Lingley, one more time. Are we back? Are we refreshed? Did we even leave? Who here is on a date tonight? Can I ask that? And clap your hands really loud. That sounds like mostly women. I don't think the math really adds up there, but that's okay. It's nice to see you. What a great date night you guys have chosen. I'm not typically really good at the dating thing. I tend to get to around 5 dates consistently and I screw it up. I'm a comedian. I make inappropriate jokes during serious times. It's how I deal with those situations. I was out with a young lady not long ago, and we went out about 5 times. We went out for a casual lunch with her mum, and I started telling this girl's mum about the Aussie burger, which, for those of you who don't know, the Aussie burger is the same as a normal burger, but on it there's also a fried egg and a beet, which sounds messed up, but it's actually delicious. Well, I started telling this girl's mum about it, and she lost her shit when I mentioned the beets. She was like, oh my God, beets, I love those things. They're so good for you, they're healthy, and they're all purple. You know, I pickle my own beets. And that's when I felt it appropriate to say out, that's interesting, Mrs. McGraw, that you pickle your own beets. Because I beat my pickle. And there was no 6th date. But I am dating her mother now, and that's going swimmingly. She beats my pickle, right? She be jerking my gherkin. Get it? It was a pickle joke. Fuck you. Tricked ya. You know, not long after the first time I visited St. John, I went to Northern Ontario, Kenora, and I noticed something very interesting out there. The highway signs for the animals are very different from any part of Canada, the rest of the country. You know the ones that I'm talking about, the ones that are on the side of the highway saying, warning, this animal, and it's got their shadow. Well, the ones in Northern Ontario, I don't know who's in charge of drawing these things, but they're horrifying. The one particularly for the moose, it's a very aggressive moose. In Northern Ontario, in that shadow. It's very much in motion, it's charging, it's going like that, like it's going, like its antlers are going that way, its chest hair is going crazy. They put that detail in the silhouette, chest hair. And its eyes are glowing. Like, how do you have a shadow with lit up eyes? But here's the part that terrified me more than anything. Underneath this horrifying image were just 2 words. And they said, night danger. That's it. Night danger. If you're not from a part of the world where you immediately recognize what that silhouette is supposed to be, it looks like a sign warning you for a creature called night danger that is lurking around in the woods. I'm like, who the fuck is night danger? What is, who? It sounds like a Bond villain. I wouldn't go in there if I were you. Night danger was spotted there last night. Night danger isn't known to be very forgiving. Night danger voted for Trump! And feels not an ounce of remorse. It was like 2 in the afternoon, I had to go to bed. That's how scared I was. I got a hotel and went to bed. And I don't know if anyone's been to Australia in here. Make some noise if you've been to Oz. The land of Oz, okay. Even if you haven't, you probably know this thing about Australia. We're known to have a lot of creepy crawlies in that country, a lot of weird animals and insects. As children in Australia, we're taught before we put our shoes on to shake them upside down in case there's a snake coiled up or a spider or something like that. I never found one, but I would wake up once a week with a huntsman spider the size of my hand in the corner of my room, hairy, disgusting creature. And I was really concerned when I went back and visited in October because I was concerned of how I would deal with that situation now that I'm a man and I'm supposed to deal with shit like that like I'm a man. But it turns out there is a protocol. So if you're planning a trip to Australia, you just have to follow these 2 easy steps. And they're simple. Upon sight of the inevitable huntsman spider, and you will see them, just follow these steps. Step number 1, upon sight, what you do is you get your dad. And if your dad isn't available, just get a dad. Get any dad. They know what to do down there. They've been trained. And then step number 2 is you burn the house down and move to Canada, because fuck that shit. You can see their heart beating. Some of them are so big they have fingerprints and last names. That's Night Danger. If any animal warrants that title, it's that 8-legged, disgusting, hairy beast. I'll tell you why it's called Night Danger. Because they come out in the middle of your Jimmy Jammy Nine-Eye. They're the furthest thing from Gorgie Gumdrops. And as soon as you see them, you're going poopy bum bottom, immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the moment that we've all been waiting for. Are you ready? Your headliner tonight is sincerely and genuinely one of the best people I've ever met in my life. He moved to St. John 4 years ago, and in that short period of time, he's done it all. He tours the country, selling out shows everywhere he goes. He's won numerous awards, he's had movies made about his life, and he's put St. John on the world map. 2 years ago today, he filled Harbour Station and recorded a live comedy special that was released internationally, and he's doing it again tonight. So what say you show the world what you're made of, St. John? There we go. Perhaps most impressive of all, he has single-handedly raised over $100,000 for New Brunswick charities. So without further ado, please put your hands together for my friend and yours, Mr. James Mullinger!